Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the monastery, the open bar of the internet, the world's greatest shit show, and the place where we, the good brothers and sisters of this most holy of temples, seek enlightenment through the drunkest, craziest, and most batshit ways possible. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra, and with me I have a couple newcomers into the temple. They are the double-headed monster that is Mad Chest, the duo of Oscar Becerra and Antonio Lamat. I'm hoping I didn't screw up pronunciation. The developers of Umbra Morfes. How are you two doing tonight?
Hello, I'm
Hello, this is
Antonio.
Oscar.
Thank you.
Sorry, because of English, as we said before, is not our main language, but we're going to make our best effort to be as clear as possible.
I appreciate the effort. And as I told you before we went live, this is far from the first time I've worked with people in this monastery for whom English is not their first language.
We appreciate it very much, and thank you for your invitation and your interest in this project, Umbra Morfes.
And before we get into it, I do want to give my congrats on how well the project is doing so far. You guys, at the time we're streaming this, you guys had a goal of 1,000. It's currently at 1,300 and change, with about 12 days to go.
Yes, we are happy to have reached the goal, and now we are aiming to the second stretch goal to unlock the second new hero, that is Asdra, voracious warrior, and she's very, very nice to play with.
Yep. And we will get to that and more as we go through this. So,
Okay.
I like to open these things with the humble beginnings, the origin story, if you will. So, with that in mind, I'd like you to walk me through your introduction to role-playing games first. We'll get to war games in a minute. And what about it made it stick?
Okay. Maybe Oscar would like to start.
Yes, this is Oscar now speaking, and at the beginning I started playing in 90s years, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and also a little bit of Warhammer 40,000. And that was like my approach to miniatures and RPG. And that was like, I left that when I started working maybe in 2004, but now just like couple years, maybe 3, I came again to play tabletop games and a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer games. And I saw this thing new for me, the PMP games. So I wanted to try something. But I'm a mechatronic engineer, so I was trying to make some kind of electronic game. And I made a labyrinth or a maze, an electronic maze with mechanical components. And I have that in YouTube. I will try to share you the YouTube link. Can you see that?
Oh yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see that.
Okay, that was a personal project. Just wanted to get like an update of the electronics of microchips and sensors. And I made that game for myself, and I put this on YouTube or Instagram, and some people start to speak about it that was great, and somebody there say that I should try to put that on Kickstarter, and I didn't know what Kickstarter was, and I researched a little bit about that, but I left that, and the game was just like a mock-up, and that was all with that electronic game. But then I was very curious about the PMP, and I printed some PMP, and then I tried to make the game the first game I made in PMP. It is called Rolling Mac. It's all like a library that will change with using two sheets of paper, and panels are like every time you move, you roll the sheet a little degrees, the level will change, and it has heroes with abilities, different values of move or attack, and you can update weapons. And that was the start of me and the Kickstarter world.
Yeah, I can get that. Antonio, what about you? What was your first introduction?
Okay, this is Antonio. My introduction to RPGs started in childhood, but through video games. So I wasn't familiar with the term RPG at that time. I played the classics like Zelda, Ocarina of Time, even Mario RPG, but often I found myself like losing direction after a few hours of play. The first game that truly hooked me were Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos. And I don't know if that's an RPG, but okay, it's kind of.
But
yeah. But the part of the hero, maybe Diablo 2 and World of Warcraft later. That was like my introduction to RPGs. But I drastically reduced my gaming when I started working. All that I told you was when I was like a teenager or a child, and now I play very casually, often going months without playing at all. But my journey into tabletop RPGs is more recent. It began during the 2020 pandemic when I started playing virtually with some college friends and my current wife. It was in those months that I first started designing games, initially modifying existing classic games like chess, Mancala, Nefatafol, the Viking chess, before exploring modern games and Euro games. And my true dive into tabletop RPGs happened at local meetups in Cali. I live in Cali. I've been living in Cali the last 6 years. And in these meetups, where I played games like Vampire the Masquerade, later, after having designed some games, I started organizing tournaments myself. I designed a game that is, the name of that game is Guari Chaturanga. It's like a mix with Chaturanga, that is the game that started chess, and Guaricha, that is a word from some indigenous woman here in Colombia. And I started organizing tournaments to play those games. And in those meetings, I met Oscar, Fernando, another friend, who further introduced me into this world. I was particularly drawn into Rolling Maze, designed by Oscar. I liked its design simplicity and its profound system, which allowed for a deeper focus on decision management and character development. And Fernando helped me explore games like Shadow Deep, Warhammer, and war games naturally came alongside RPGs, as many of the games I enjoyed combined these mechanics. And it was something that captivated me was the interest in deep narratives combined with the potential for creating highly strategic and profound combat. And that is a quality that I love in chess, but now I like merging that with war games mechanics and a dice system. That was something that hooked me up. So that's kind of the beginning.
Yeah, I can certainly get that. Now, since Umbra Morfes is a sci-fi game, science fiction is a very, very wide net, as you two are no doubt aware. And there's a concept known as Appendix N that is this informal listing of some of the inspirations or reference material for a given game. So, what sort of media in and out of science fiction served as an inspiration for you guys when it came to the concept of what brand of science fiction Umbra Morfes is doing?
Would you like to start, or do you want me to? Okay, I'm going to talk about my inspiration is mainly drawn from anime films and books. I really love Ghost in the Shell, Asimov's Foundation series, and all his short stories. I love Alien. I also like games like Halo. And practically all the sci-fi pop culture from the 80s and 90s has been my inspiration. I definitely watched a lot of television when I was a kid, so all those things influenced me. But there's something important that I want to say about Umbra Morphes, and it actually grew out of a novel I finished writing back in 2019. That novel is called Universo 19, and I'm currently working on an illustrated re-edition of that book. And the game itself explores a part of the story that was treated very vaguely and loosely in the novel. And Umbra Morphes really goes deep into this topic of the novel.
Yeah, I can get that. And Oscar, what about you? What particular sci-fi served as inspiration from your end?
Well, I first make a sci-fi game that was the second volume of Rolling Maze, and but the first Rolling Maze was like D&D 10, but the second one was sci-fi thing, and I get the inspiration in Alien. Also, I like to read Isaac Asimov, and um, also Warhammer 40,000, and was inspiration for me. And some video games like Metroid, and I wanted the rolling maze. The second version was a very different theme, so I made with the sci-fi theme, and I started to play it with Antonio, and he was like the tester of the game. And Antonio gave me his book, Universo 19, and sometimes we speak that he can make a game, and he wanted to make the theme of the game inspired in his book.
Yeah, I can get that. Now, on the Kickstarter, you guys make a big deal about having a unique dice system. It's right at the top of the page. And I'm curious how the dice system of emphasizing different dice sizes and the high and low approach that you guys use, how did that come to be? What were some of the influences? What were some of the goals? Talk to me about the chain of events that led to this system.
Okay. The very first dice combat system that I encountered was in Risk many years ago. And I honestly never really enjoyed it because luck determined too much of the outcome. And I found that kind of frustrating. And when playing other RPGs, I often felt that most systems were heavily focused on character power. Like, the more powerful your hero, the higher the dice numbers, or the greater the quantity of dice, which naturally meant a higher probability of winning. That's interesting. I like it, and I enjoyed that mechanic, but I wanted something that incorporated the management of chance, similar to games like backgammon, where you roll dice, but luck doesn't dictate the winner. A good player will always beat a poor one in backgammon. So I aim to blend that strategic depth with the role-playing and wargame mechanics. Like drawing inspiration from abstract games like chess and modern games like Santorini or Onitama, where movement and positioning is also very important. So the system has been in development for 3 years, and I finally found a good balance at the beginning of this year. My main goal was to move away from the standard idea that a high number is always a good and a low number is always bad. And I tested a lot of different systems. At the beginning, I included some kind of weird mechanics like division, and it was kind of hard. And at the end, at the beginning of this year, I get what it is right now, and the core mechanically is basically your hero has 5 combat skills, and that combat skills are cha, that is your physical attack, defense, that mitigates physical attack damage or cha, movement, that determines how many spaces you move, that I call that mengars, range, that is how far you can hit, and the fifth skill, that at the beginning of the game is a capacity for healing, and later some magicians can attack with that, and it ignores defense. And at the start of the game, you roll 3 dice. You have a d4, a d6, and a d8. And you must then you roll them and you strategically assign these 3 dice to the result to your 5 skills to boost them. If you do not boost an ability, it is 1. So you can move 1, you can attack with 1 cha, or you can heal 1. Yeah. And if you boost them, you okay, so the important thing is that cha, that is attack, and defense benefit from high numbers. So you sum your base skill with the die result. For example, if you have 5 plus 3, so you have 8 defense or cha, that is your attack. However, the other 3 skills, movement, range, and benefit from low numbers. For example, if your maximum is 10, the die result is subtracted. So you want a 1 or 2 or even a 0, which you get when rolling a pair of dice. So to explain that, is like 10 is your maximum potential, and the die you put there is how much you are subtracting from your highest possibility. And this creates a highly strategic layer. If you roll low, it might be better to heal and reposition than attack. If you roll high, you might want to focus on powerful attacks or defense. You also have special abilities you can activate by assigning all 3 dice to the same skill, which massive benefit, but leaves all your other skills completely unguarded. You got it? So
Yeah.
you put, yeah, okay. And ultimately, if you lose, I think it's not due to bad luck, so it's because you do not make the best strategic decisions with the resources you rolled. So you have always options.
Yeah. Now, because of that, you mentioned the whole thing of assigning 3 dice to 5 stats. Is it a case where once you assign those 3 dice, they are locked to those, or can they be shifted at some point during play?
Every turn you roll your 3 dice and you assign them in the ability you want. And in the next turn, for example, if that's a PvP, you can play Umbra Morfes in PvP or PvE. In PvE, every turn you roll, and those are your statistics in this turn. And the next, you roll again, and you will have completely different statistics. So you're not locked into that number, because in this turn you may have gotten some low numbers, and as I said before, it's better to heal and to run maybe, but if you got high numbers, it's better to attack or to use defense. And yeah, it is a very fluent game. When you got it, it's very quick.
So, with that in mind, this is a game that does center around 5, potentially more characters, depending on what stretch goals you guys unlock. But I'd like you to tell me what you can about the play styles of the, and I have to correct myself, 6 heroes that are going to be present. Like, what sort of equivalents or analogs their playstyles might have to characters in other games, for example.
Okay. At the beginning, the design process started with just 2 characters, the Huntress Tandiwe and the warrior Bracus. They are inspired my brother and me playing Hunter and Warrior in World of Warcraft. And all six heroes have the same total pool of 50 points. So across their combat stats and health, that is called as beta, what changes is how those points are distributed. So we focused heavily on balance from the start. After extensive testing, we achieved a near 50-50 win rate between Tandiu and Bracus in neutral scenarios, proving that victory relies on strategy, not in power. And in PvE, also we are always, like making some monster stronger, weaker, and at the end we have a very balanced game. And those were the two first characters, like the Huntress and the Warrior. And then we of course wanted to have a tank, so we introduced Rylor, the Guardian, and he has a high defense hero. And initially it was kind of stronger than the other two characters. So that was a reason why also we introduced Vortigern, that is a mage. He's a direct counter to Rylor because Vortigern attacks with that is magic damage, and magic damage completely ignores defense. So it was a counter, but it was kind of weak against the archer, who has a longer range. So it was interesting. Then we also introduced Kioresha, the assassin, who counters also the mage and also the huntress. And at the end we added Setiel, the support mage, who also does magical damage, and has a special ability that she can deal damage and also heals two targets, like partners, including herself, in a single attack. Every hero has a unique special ability, but activating, as I told you before, is a risk because it leaves all your other combat skills unguarded, and this makes the game highly strategic. While my test didn't show a significant advantage for any hero, I think characters like the mages and the archer require more skill, because they have lower defense and a single mistake can cost you the game, so they can one-shot you in one turn. But when you can master using distance as your defense, you can easily compensate their fragility and become very powerful.
Yeah. It sounds like you would kind of design the heroes almost in a rock paper scissors kind of way. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
Each one has something that they're very, very good against, but something that they are very, very weak against at the same time.
Yes, but there's not very, but yeah, it's, for example, some heroes that are a little strong against some character, but you always have an opportunity to defeat your counter. It's not that such a disadvantage to play a counter. And also we have the Morphoses that I think we could
Yeah, that was what I was going to get into next, the Morphosis abilities. How are those going to work in conjunction with the die system you have? Is it a case where you have a budget of acquiring them? Are they acquired randomly? How is Morphosis going to work?
Okay, Morphosis is something that in PvE at the beginning you have no morphosis. Your hero is in the with the your with its basic stats or her basic stats, and as long as you play, you can quarks and and start to improve your hero. So the morphosis system is one of the core mechanics that ensures every game, whether PvE or PvP, feels unique, allowing players to create very powerful strategies, as I told you before, that can turn their hero into an immortal tank, for example, or an absolute killing machine. So you may be, for example, Raelor, who has a low range and very strong defense. And if you're going to play against a mage, you can upgrade your range or get some skill that makes you have an advantage. And well, I want to tell you something before, and then I am going to explain that. This system is also very rooted in the lore of Universo 19, the novel I told you before. And in this world, the inhabitants had to genetically modify their bodies to survive. And this process is like, imagine we are going to Mars and we can survive there. So they in this process they created a social hierarchy, and it's hierarchy, and it's regulated by an AI named Matrix Amcha to prevent chaos. In the game, this translates into morphosis cards that you purchase with quarks, that is the name currency. And these cards offer abilities that permanently enhance one or more of your hero's statistics, so you can improve your chai, your defense, whatever. And also you can upgrade one of your dice. If you want to upgrade a D8 to a D12, you pay the difference, so it would cost you 4 quarks. Or you can a D20 for a D12 for a D20, or purchase some active powers like, for example, cloaking, a powerful ray, temporary flight, or a shield that reflects an attack. And these morphosis cards can be passive or active. And the cooldown for active abilities is managed by simply rotating the card 90 degrees each turn. So when you use it, you turn it 90 degrees, and when it is in the initial position again, you can't use it again. So you have 3 turns where you can't use those morphoses. And this mechanic connects the world building directly to the gameplay, giving every character immense potential for customization, and a powerful growth. So you asked me that how you get those powers, and in PvE is by defeating monsters. You get paid for defeating them. Every mission you say I want to get my hero and I want to get this, and there is like auction house, like something like that. Okay, but virtual auction system, and random you get 4 different cards and you choose the one you prefer. That is in PvE. And in PvP, for example, if there are 2 heroes, you get 4 cards, and you say, for example, I want this card. Every hero has 22 quarks, and that morphosis costs, for example, 6 quarks, and the other player can say, I'm going to pay 7 for that. And it's a system when you can make the other player to waste its money in very powerful power, but you can counter that with maybe 3 different morphoses that can be that can balance the game.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like there is a bit of a bidding option of sorts when it comes to spending resources to get a hold of more of these powers.
Yes, that is like a bidding option, like an auction. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hopefully I won't have to
In
do an auctioneer
PvP.
voice because I am horrible at the auctioneer voice. I'm not that fast. But now with that in mind, obviously there is the monster and boss setup, but since this is a game that can be played solo as well as with others, are you developing a kind of randomization or a kind of soft AI set up for determining how monsters act when it's just one person?
It's a very simple way to act. Monsters attack the closest target,
Mm-hmm.
and they are they're not very smart. For example, ranged monsters
Mm-hmm.
will not attack at maximum range. For example, they are once one hex to you, they are not going to move to max range to attack you. We always try to move as close as they can to the weakest hero. So the hero that has the lowest S Vita is the one that is going to be attacked. In case of there are 2 heroes with the same S Vita, it will attack the one that has the lower defense stat in this turn. And what else? They basically it's all they do, and they attack all the monsters attack at the same time. So you sum all the attack from the monsters. So imagine your defense is 11, and there are 4 monsters that are attacking you, and one has an attack of 4, another 5 is 9, and another 6 is 15. So all those attacks are the ones that are going to you are going to subtract your defense from that attack. And for example, when you're playing with the hate, if they don't have enough movement, they are going to jump and they are going to receive damage to hit you. So they are not going to say like, "Oh, I'm going to do the longest route to attack you." They are going to fall and attack. And the bosses are smarter. They are going to attack from the longest range possible. And that's the main difference. Like bosses can a group, but it's a very easy way to manage monsters.
Yeah, I can certainly get that. And there's also the fact that you have a hidden danger system, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is the kind of randomized hazard system to ensure that no campaign is exactly the same.
The hidden danger system is also a way to tell the player about the lore of the Universo 19. So there are some cards and it doesn't start since the in the three missions. It starts in the fourth mission, and it's a mechanic where in the fifth mission where you roll 2d10, and if you get a number higher than 50, you pick a card and you read the hidden danger. It's like a puzzle, and you have five like skills, but those are not combat skills. Those skills are intellect, psyche, motrice. That is your way to your capacity to to do things like manually. Well, okay, it's your motrice, your motrice skills, and also senses. That is your ability to detect things, to anticipate, to maybe dangers, or even to metaphysical events. If your senses are very high, so it's like I don't know if you saw Slumdog Millionaire, like that program TV show. You have like five options. You have to choose if you are going to face that hidden danger with your gore, your psyche, your senses, your intellect, and there is always like the better option would get you higher probabilities to success. There are like three good options where you have like a chance of 50 or less, and there is one that is the worst, and you have a very low way to range of success. So it works like that. You roll your three dice, and for example, something that you think the better option is intellect, and you put your highest number roll on your dice on intellect, and then you look on the rules, and you look, for example, hidden danger 18, and there's a story, maybe there are some hints, and if it's the right one, you multiply your intellect. In this case, maybe your intellect is 15 and your dice is a 5, so 15 multiply 15 is like 60, 75. Okay, so your probability of success is 75. So now you roll 2d10, and if you get 25 or less, you success. And if you have 76 or high number, you fail. And there is an option for success and for failure. And it has different missions that you have to heal to surpass something with an Umbra Morphe, or some powers that make you stronger, quarks, and there are a lot of things that you can do with those hidden dangers, and every time you play, you are going to pick some different hidden dangers, and it's going to be a very different game. So something very, very interesting.
Yeah. Now, with that said, what do you? I do like I said, the game is fully funded now, and what are you shooting for as far as a release window? Not a date, but a broader net of potential dates. I know you have it as January 2026 on the Kickstarter. Is that what you're thinking the release date for this pen and paper project will be?
Yes. We are making a lot of tests. We want the game to be very balanced when get to you. Um, the last like 5 games I played, there are only like 2 things that I have changed. Like maybe one morphosis that was very broken, so I'm going to fix that. And like something that I forgot to write in the rules. So right now, I'm like writing the last things in the rules, and we are planning to the game is going to be released on January, and but there are some in the how do you say that in the okay, there is one that is the $22 that you get a personalized hero with your face or whatever you want. We are creating the heroes to put your face that are going to be two. Right now are going to be 2 different options, and you are going to choose. I want this one, or I want the other one. Or maybe if you want to be one of the heroes of the pool of the game, we will put your face on that hero. And for that is a lot of work. So maybe that is going to be February. But the core game and all that is on Kickstarter is going to be on January.
All right, I can get that. But with all that said, I do want to sincerely thank both of you for taking the time out of your schedule to come all the way to my monastery and enjoy the madness that happens here. And anytime you see fit to return, the door is always open. As I often say around here, drinking is not mandatory, but it is encouraged.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. And it's nice to be here and in your list. And thank you for your interest in our game. And see you next time.
Oh yeah. And of course,
Thank you so much, Mildra. Thank you again. Your questions were very. I liked that you have had the time to look at the game, and there are you go to the very interesting points. So thank you for your time for this space. And okay, that's it, I think.
And of course, a sincere thanks goes out to everyone who took the time out of their schedule to come onto the show and enjoy the madness. And there will be plenty more where that came from, as there always is here, on the open bar of the internet. But until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra, I am your gaming monk. Stay fucking frosty, everybody.